Hi everybody, my name's Doug Wilson. And this is Yellowhawk Customs Outdoors, and we're out here in the outdoors right now. Okay, so as many of you know, I design knives. I don't build them, but I do have one maker who consistently has performed very well in building my designs to the T, and that's Joshua Blankenship at Ankura Knife Company. So you should check him out. But if you want to see more of these knives here and hear a little more about them and their sheath systems, grab a cup of coffee, a bagel, a donut, some eggs and bacon, and we'll be right back. Okay, so let's start with just the biggest one. This is the Delta Whiskey Talon, and most of these were built by Joshua Blankenship at Ankura Knife Company, but not all of them, okay? This one was built by Josh. It's a chopper. The steel is 80 CRV2. However, let me explain what the purpose of the video is. In the comments section below, I'd like you to tell me if you're interested in actually purchasing a knife and a sheath system for it. Tell me which one you like the best and which one you would be interested in. How's that? Or text me at 443-315-6033. Okay? And then I'll go through all the comments and the texts, and you know, this is going to be a couple of week period that I want guys to view this video. But at some point I will announce that we're making, you know, a run of, you know, PSYOPs knives or whatever, according to the interest that was generated from this video and, you know, Facebook and Instagram and all that. Okay, so the Talon, Delta Whiskey Talon, it's a big knife. Okay, it's a big knife. It's a chopper, right? But it also has a bushcrafting element designed into it. Okay, right here. All right, here's the sheath. I'm not going to speak a whole lot about each knife because I believe that, you know, the designs speak for themselves, the quality of the knives speak for themselves, that kind of thing, right? So here's the sheath that I designed for it. Now all these sheaths that you're looking at are mine. These are my personal knives of my designs, okay? Now all of these, most of these have been done in different lots over the last 6 years or so, okay? Maybe 7. Starting with the Delta Whiskey Infinity, and we'll get to that one next, I think. Okay, so here's this one. This is the sheath system. It's got an SE pouch on the front. There's a tin in the pouch. You put whatever you want in it. And this pouch, and this is one of the reasons I really like to use it, has webbing, right, that you can actually put a sharpener through there or whatever, right? There's the webbing. You can see the webbing goes all the way across, and see I got a ferro rod here, right? So instead of putting it on the sheath, I put the ferro rod here, and it is secured by a shock cord. It's not going anywhere, right? So it's there when you need it. And I designed this for pack mount. I can also put a tech lock on this or a combat lock belt clip, which you can with most of these designs. Okay, right now it has a molly lock clip, and that is for, you know, pack carry. Put it through a pack strap. Okay, because when I do use this knife, I usually put it on the outside of my pack. It's too big to carry on my belt, and sometimes I will use a baldric sling with it, but most of the time it stays on my pack. Several hand positions, right? Several hand positions on this handle, okay? That's why the handle's so long, right? So she's a chopper. She'll chop. If you notice, this edge, okay, is a Scandi Vex edge. This is one of my favorite edges to put on any knife because they slice well and they're really strong, okay? In my book, a knife should slice very well because that's like the hallmark of a good edge. If it slices, like if you can slice a tomato straight through with your knife, it's a great slicer. If you could do feather sticks with no problem with your knife, it's a great knife. It's a great edge, okay? Now that's not to say there aren't other good edges. It depends on the maker. Like Phobos. Let's take Phobos for example. The Phobos Tier 1 BC is one of my favorite knives of all time. It has an edge that slices like nobody's business, but it's not a convex, it's not a Scandivex, it's a convex edge. And it's a really small convex edge. It's really thin, right? But his knives, Eric Hansen's knives, they slice well right out of the box. And you can't say that about a lot of knives, even custom knives. It depends on the maker. If the maker doesn't know what a good edge is, he's going to put a regular V edge on it, and you're just going to have to suffer through it or change it. Okay? That's my outlook on it. Okay? There's the Talon. Now, if you guys want me to make a run of these, you know, I'll tell Josh, he'll make a run of these. This knife goes for about 450 bucks. All right? That's just the way it is. Steels are more expensive nowadays. Custom, you know, you'll probably have your choice of handle material as long as Josh has it. Okay? So, about 450, maybe 475. I don't know. It depends on Josh. And it really depends on the steel. If you want it in Magna Cut, you're up there at 475, 500, that kind of thing. Okay? It is a big knife. It's a huge hunk of steel. All right? So there's that one. Okay, next one. The Delta Whiskey Infinity. This is one of my oldest designs and one of the most successful. Okay? In part, right? Or maybe most of part. Okay? It is built by LT Wright Custom Knives. Okay? So basically, you can't buy it from him. I have lots of this knife built every few years, right? Now we just finished a lot in CPM 3V. I think the next lot is going to be the hottest, newest super steel, maybe Magna Cut, okay? Joshua Blankenship is working with Magna Cut, if you're interested in that, right, for any of these designs, okay? So LT Wright Custom Knives, it's my design, of course. It is a bushcrafter. This is an all-out EDC survival bushcrafter, basically. All right. It's got a choke-up choil that turns a 5.5-inch blade into something really close to your forefinger, where you get a lot of leverage and a lot of power behind it. Okay. Again, this is a Scandi grind, not a Scandivex. But this is a woodworker, bushcrafter. It's a knife that needs a Scandi grind for those kind of tasks. Okay, very comfortable handle. These handles, one of my favorite materials for handle material is Ultrex Sure Touch G10 and rubber. That's what this is. Okay. Now some makers don't like to work with it because it's a little bit difficult to shape, but I like it, so I'm willing to pay the extra cost. And of course it makes it a little more expensive. These scales are probably 50% more expensive than other handle materials of, you know, of a decent price, you know. Okay? It's pretty expensive stuff. Like, I think it was like 60 bucks to handle this knife, to put a handle on this knife, $50–60, okay, something like that. Whereas you can get away with my Carter for 10 bucks, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, the Delta Whiskey Infinity. Okay, eventually we are going to be doing a run of these, but here's the sheath system. Now keep in mind, this is my sheath system. This is how I wear it. I usually wear it as a dangler, right? But you can also wear it as a belt carry as well. Now this is our Voodoo dangler. It's attached to the sheath itself, as opposed to the Raptor dangler, which clips into the belt clip, okay? Which they both have their uses. They both have their pros and cons, okay? If I had my choice, I would go with either one. I happen to go with the Voodoo dangler for this one. It's easy to remove. It's only one screw. It's on there tight, okay? Got a mount plate. I put a slide lock on this one, right? That makes that super tight so you can't get it out, right? Push it down and it's easy to get out, okay? Now, of course, with any of these designs, if I have a lot made, you're going to be able to choose what kind of sheath you want, the color, the Kydex, what kind of options you want, how you want to carry it, etc. All right? This is a ferro rod on the front of it. Okay? Now, my choice for a sheath usually has a ferro rod, some type of sharpening system, and maybe a light on it. A light. Okay? So, there's that one. Let's go with the Delta Whiskey Backcountry. Okay? This is a full-on survival knife. Okay? Now, this one was built by Mike Wallace at Wallace Edge Tools. He is no longer building custom knives. Okay? I've turned the design over to Joshua Blankenship at Ankura Knife Company. Okay? But, again, these are expensive to produce. We do knives in 5 knife lots. Okay? So if you want one, you got to be one of 5 people who orders one. Okay? That'll go, your name will go on a pre-order list. And then when I have at least 3 guys, I'll have the lot made. Okay? And then I'll foot the bill for the rest of it. And then I'll sell the knives, the other 2. I'll sell the other 2. Okay? And eventually they all sell. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay? Delta Whiskey Backcountry. This is a full-on survival knife. It will even chop. Okay? This one happens to be CPM 3V. Most of my knives, most of my designs have 90-degree spines. So you don't have to carry a ferro rod striker. And you can make Maya dust with no problem out of regular sticks or fat wood. Doesn't matter. Okay? It'll make Maya dust from either. Delta Whiskey Backcountry. Here's the sheath. This is another pack mount. It's a kind of a heavy knife, but you can still wear it on your belt. I can put a Tech Lock or a Combat Lock belt clip on this one as well. I can also put a Molly Lock clip on there, which is on there now. Okay, there's a ferro rod on the back and a fine diamond rod sharpener on the side. Fine diamond rod sharpener. Now this is the more expensive sharpener that I offer. I call it the standalone. These are high, I mean the highest quality, finest, right? As in grit diamond rods that I can put on these sheaths. They're great. I love them, right? And they only get better with age. Now again, of course, you can have anything you want on your sheath, right? Provided I have the option and I can do it. Here's the thing, if you take me outside my wheelhouse, if you go to my website and what you want is not pictured in those 75 sheath systems that I have on my website, if you don't see that particular option, I probably don't do it for whatever reason. Okay, but that doesn't mean I won't do it for you. It depends. It just depends. But if you take me outside my wheelhouse, that's just extra work, right? The designs and options that I do right now are tried and true, right? I do them because they work. I build them because they function well in the field, all right? You know, these mount plates, the way I do it, they function well in the field, right? Very strong. Okay, there's that one. Now I'm trying not to make this video like super long, so I'm kind of keeping everything concise for each knife. Okay, here we go. This is the Spartan. The Spartan. Okay? It is an all-around combat, bushcrafter, hunter, jack of all trades, master at none. 90-degree spine. This one is CPM 3V, but you know, depending on what you guys want for a steel, we could talk about what kind of steel you want. Okay? But rest assured, if I build a run of these, if guys are interested in a run of these, it's going to be a great steel. It's going to be a you know, no holds barred, no brainer steel, right? Because I'm all about function in the field. If I build a knife with an inferior steel and it doesn't function well in the field, that reflects on me. That reflects on my name, my company's name, and I just won't have it. Be honest. Okay? The Spartan. Very comfortable handle. I mean, super comfortable. Coke bottle style. A lot of my handles are Coke bottles like this with finger grooves because they're comfortable and they stay in your hand, right? So if you need to fight with this knife is going to stay in your hand because of those hand grooves, those finger grooves. Okay? There's that one. This one has a Raptor dangler, right? Raptor dangler assembly. Combat lock belt clip. See the detents here? These are, in my opinion, easier to use in the field than tech locks. That's why I use them. And they're just as strong, right? I've never had anybody break one, right? I've seen somebody break a tech lock, though. But nah, I can't say that. They're both very strong clips. I just like these detents right here. The wings on a tech lock are hard to actuate when it's on your belt. Okay? Meaning when you're trying to use the damn thing, it's hard to get off sometimes because those wings are so hard to press together. I'm starting to lose my voice. Okay? This one is made with Recon Kydex. Recon Fog, it's called. It's got a face mount ferro rod, that mount plate which gives you mounting options for clips and molly lock clips. Okay, we might even be able to do a lot with the hawk pins. These are brass pins designed with a hawk's head. Pretty cool. Okay, Josh knows where to get them. He can get them. Okay, so there's that one, the Spartan. The Spartan. It's got a cool skull cracker on the back too. It's not a ferro rod striker, it's a skull cracker or a nut cracker or whatever. Okay, there's that one. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Who is next? All right. Now we don't do runs of these. If you want one of these, you're going to have to go to Sam Farnsworth at firekeeperforge.com. Firekeeperforge.com. Okay. This is the Farnhawk. This is an all-out bushcrafter. You know, old school bushcrafter. You guys remember Morris Kohansky? Like super bushcrafter dude. He liked knives shaped like this. Generally. I don't want a whole bunch of comments with guys, he doesn't use that kind of knife. Blah, blah. He's passed away since, you know. Okay, these are walnut burl handles with 80 CRV2 steel. But if you want something like this, you got to talk to Sam Farnsworth. He'll make the knife, and then he'll send it to me, and I'll make the sheath for you. Okay? So, this is the one I made for myself. It's got a small tech lock on it. Really small, compact setup. It's got a flashlight on the front, tactical light. Ferro rod on the back. And this is our flip out ferro rod. So, these kind of work like this, right? You flip it out, you strike it, use it, you know, strike it, right? And then flip it back. And it stays there. It doesn't go anywhere. All right? Flip out ferro rod. Really convenient way of putting a ferro rod on a sheath that works pretty well. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Okay, this is the Viper Necker. Okay, this is a Necker knife. I designed it to be a Necker, small knife. Got that cool looking blade shape, thumb ramp. Very nice knife. This one is, I think it's 80 CRV2. But like I said, if we do a lot of them, we're going to ask guys what kind of steel they want. And then we got to come to a consensus. Probably Magna Cut, right? Good steel. Okay? Viper Necker. Very comfortable in the hand. You get all 4 fingers on there. And then here's the sheath. This sheath has a story, right? Okay, so everybody knows I build Kydex sheath systems, right? For knives, of course. I was making this knife, this sheath, and I was grinding on a belt, you know, belt sander. And no, I'm sorry. I was sharpening the knife on a work sharp. That's what it was. Okay, on a work sharp, I was sharpening the knife. Okay, and I still had this around my neck, like this. Okay, so I'm sharpening the knife, and the tip catches the belt and slams that knife, boom, right into the sheath. It would have went into my chest, and you can see. Now I've since closed the hole up, but you see that slice right there? It saved my life. This Kydex saved my life, because it would have went in. You know, I mean, I know there's bone there, but who knows where it would have ended up, right? And if it's, you know, if it comes at me hard enough to put a slice in there like that, it was coming hard. So, kind of a special sheath. I'll never get rid of it. Okay, the Viper Necker, flip out ferro rod, again, work real well. They are tight. I keep them tight, right? So they don't fly, you know, flip all over the place. And this is red carbon fiber with I call it lava Kydex, red and black lava Kydex. Kind of looks like lava. Okay, next one is the Viper EDC. It's a bigger version of the Viper Necker. Okay, now this knife has been modified to fit my taste, okay, from the original design. If we have a lot of these made, the blade is going to look like that, only bigger. longer. Okay? You can see how it's a little bit different. Okay? Because I wanted to do bushcraft tasks with this. So I kind of had Josh modify the blade a little bit. Okay? Alright. So this is the Viper EDC. This is a perfect size for an EDC. Perfect. Right? I want to say 3.5 inch blade, 4-inch handle. Okay? Now, that's not exact, but there's the sheath that I made for it. This is strictly slip on your belt, take it off real easy type thing, but these are not very secure. You have to be cognizant of the fact that you got a knife on your belt. Okay? Because if you sit down or whatever, this thing pops off, you're going to lose your knife. I do not believe in these kind of clips, these spring clips. You will lose your knife. I know guys will look at me like, oh no, I'm not going to lose my knife. Yeah, you will. Eventually you're going to lose your knife with a clip like this. Okay? Spring clips just are not secure. Right? They do fit a purpose though. They do fit a niche. Which is why I put it on there for ease of use, right? I'm always cognizant that I have a knife on my belt or wherever I put it, okay? So there's that one. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Woo, 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 woo. There it is. This, the Delta Whiskey Switchback, okay? This is a full-on hunter, bushcrafter, jack of all trades, drop point with a really secure handle. See the finger grooves? And you know, I've yet to find a hand that this handle doesn't fit yet. You know what I mean? Hands are, you know, adjustable. Okay? Now, this knife is the way I wanted it to be. It's got voodoo scales on it, voodoo resin scales. It's got Cerakoted blade. Josh can do all this. Josh Blankenship. Okay? And it's got a convex grind for the edge. Okay? This is a super slicer. Now, with Cerakote, you will not be able to strike with the spine unless you take the Cerakote off and kind of adjust that edge so that it will strike a ferro rod. It can be done. This one does it. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it. All right, this is the Little Hawk. The Little Hawk. We'll get to this one. All right, so it will strike a ferro rod. Delta Whiskey Switchback. Great little knife. Here's the sheath. Now, there's something special about this sheath. I designed it to be silent. Okay, the guys out there think that Kydex can't be designed to be silent. It sure can. It depends on the maker. If the maker can do it, he can do it. If he can't, he can't. Okay, I can, right? So it's a really simple, real slow withdrawal, and make sure that when you put it back in, it's slow. Okay? So, silent draw. All right. Okay, so it can be drawn silently, or like really quiet, right? All right, Delta Whiskey switchback. Now Josh is talking about doing a run of these like very soon, of 5 knives in Magna Cut. No, not Magna Cut. And we'll decide on the steel, right? So if you're interested, let me know in this knife, and we could probably make that happen pretty quick. Okay? Delta Whiskey switchback. Small tech lock on it. Mount plate. Face mount ferro rod. Even got a striker on it. Right? For those guys who have a Cerakoted blade that they don't want to take the Cerakote off the spine, you got a striker. Okay, who's next? The Little Hawk. The Lil Hawk. L-I-L Hawk. Lil Hawk. Now, this design used to be made by Brian Sells at English Mountain Knives. He's no longer making it. I gave the design to Joshua Blankenship at Ankura Knife Company, right? Because Josh and I get along real good. He's a great knife maker. He gets better every day. So I throw him a lot of love, you know? So Josh can make this knife. The Little Hawk. It is a necker. Small EDC. There's the sheath I made for it. Flip out ferro rod. Again, these are so convenient because you don't have to worry about a holder being on there. And when you put a holder on a sheath, it makes that thing sit up further. I wanted this compact so I could wear it as a necker, right? Wear it as a necker. All right? You can even pick your nose with it. The Lil Hawk. These are green elder burl scales. I fell in love with these scales, so I had to have them. So Brian was like, okay, I'll do it. He did a great job on it. All right, let's go with this one. Okay, this is one of my newer designs. It's called the Timberhawk XL. Timberhawk XL. Go away, go away, go away. Timberhawk XL. There's a smaller version of this. We just did a lot of the smaller version. And it's the Timberhawk EDC. Timberhawk. This is the Timberhawk XL. CPM 3V. There's them Sure Touch scales again. Ultrex Sure Touch G10 and rubber. Great stuff. I love it. I love this stuff. Get it wet, it's just even grippier, you know? It's funny how it works. Timberhawk XL. This is a bushcrafter, camp knife, combat, everything rolled up into one. Great blade style, looks good. It's hot. It's a hot knife, right? So Josh can build these. Okay. This one was actually built, I got to give him love because he did a great job on them, by Eric Stufflebean at Brush Creek Knives. Check him out, okay? He no longer does this design because I've given it to Josh. I'm trying to keep all my designs in one wheelhouse, right? Because then they're consistent across the board, right? Timberhawk. There's that Scandivex grind that I love. This is a super slicer and a strong edge. CPM 3V. Here's this sheath that I built for it. Voodoo Dangler. Voodoo Dangler. This is the one that's attached to the sheath. Okay? Sometimes I will put 2 screws in there. Depends on the size of the knife. All right? And whether I can do it or not. Sometimes there's not room enough. Okay. Face mount ferro rod. This is traditional multicam Kydex. Multicam pattern Kydex. Right? Got a belt clip on the back. No mount plate. So the belt clip is where it is, and that there's no adjustability to it. You can straighten it up, and you can put it in a vertical, right? But you can't move it around at all. You can't move it up, can't move it down. It is where it is, okay? That is the great thing about mount plates. Mount plates allow you to put different clip options, right? And if I don't have the holes you need, you can drill them yourself. Put your own holes in. Real simple, okay? Timberhawk XL. Real comfortable. Very comfortable handle. Nice wide blade. Sweet. I love this knife. And it works great in the field. It's a functioning knife. It functions the hell out of it. Okay? This is the Timberhawk EDC. Okay? Now, Joshua Blankenship built this one. Okay? It's nearly identical to the XL, only smaller. Okay? Just smaller. It's about an inch smaller. Inch and a half, something like that. Okay? Great size for an EDC. I love it. This is a perfect everyday carry knife. Right? And these are Magna Cut. We've been making them out of Magna Cut. There's those Ultrex Sure Touch G10 and rubber scales in multicam. They call it camo. There's the sheath system. Okay, this one actually belongs to a client. This knife. I personally do not own one of these. I will eventually. But I was going to take one from this previous lot that we did, but at the last minute somebody wanted one, so I had to give it up. Alright? Timberhawk EDC. These are Magna Cut. Great steel. I say great steel. I'm not going to get into the chemistry behind it or the, the grain structure and all. It's a great steel. And to be honest with you, the difference between CPM 3V and Magna Cut, I really don't think you'd be able to tell by using the knife. Honestly, you might be able to tell in the sharpening process or how long the edge lasts. Maybe you'd be able to tell, but probably not. They're both great steels. Okay, this one belongs to a client. Raptor dangler, clips into the belt clip, combat lock belt clip, face mount ceramic hone with a side mount ferro rod, and some hex cam Kydex. Hex cam. Alright, here's another one for the same guy. He sucked up 2 of them. Okay, my buddy Dave. Okay, this next one is the Psyops. The Psyops. This is a spook knife, right? Small, compact, but great blade profile. It's got that spear type blade profile. Thumb push ramp, right? Really grippy finger grooves. This thing stays in your hand, right? I call it the Psyops. It's a sneaky knife. Sneak knife. This is behind the back. Draw it quick, or whatever, wherever. Joshua Blankenship builds these too. Okay. This is one of those spring clips that I'm okay with. and I use them for pocket carry, okay? Because it has a clip in a clip, right? It's very difficult to get off unless you pull this thing apart, okay? Now, let me show you what Josh is doing lately. Okay, you can see the CPM 3V, right? The Yellow Hawk logo. This one's mine, so it's been used quite a bit, okay? Yellow Hawk logo. This was a prototype, so he put prototype on there, and then the name of the blade, Psyops. He's doing this on my designs now, putting my logo and all this on it. And then Ankura Knife Company on the spine there. Okay, so I like that. He's doing that with all my blades now. You can see these are all laser engraved. Timberhawk on the back there. The steel Magna Cut. Pretty cool. I like how he's doing that. And it doesn't look junky, you know. Good job. Good job, Josh. Thanks. All right, guys. I think that's it. I got one more here. Okay, so we decided not to do these, okay, because they're really close to the Timberhawk. But I have two of these that I had made, right, that are for sale. D2 tool steel, okay? Two of them. Great little knives, fit in the hand, nice and tight. This one's for sale with the sheath. I have another one of these knives too, if you want a different type of sheath. So just contact me if you're interested in it. D2 tool steel. Almost all my designs are 5/32, the thickness of the steel, okay? It lends itself to being lightweight, but still strong, right? You don't need a 1/4 inch thick blade. Not in these sizes, right? You just don't need it. It's like Superman overkill. Superman and Spider-Man together. Just way overkill, right? So this significantly reduces the weight of the knife if I go to 5/32. I won't go any thinner than that unless it's a really small knife. I'll go to 1/8 inch. Okay? 5/32 is a little bit thinner than 3/16, just a little, a hair, like a millimeter or so. All right, so contact me 443-315-6033 if you're interested in this knife. Both of these knives that I had made have that hawk pin, right? Brass pins. These are walnut burl scales. Good stuff. All right, they're the only two ever made. They're the only two that will ever be made, okay? Unless somebody comes out of the woodwork and says I want 10 of them, then I'll have them made. You know, I'm gonna judge what lots we do in part by this video, right? See what kind of reception I get on whatever design you guys like, okay? So in the comment section below, just tell me, hey, which knife you like. Even if you don't want one, just say which one you like. If you want one, say it, right? And then we might do a lot of that knife. Now keep in mind, all of these designs were designed by me to be used by me. These are my answer to certain aspects of knife use. You know, choppers, whittlers, bushcraft knives, combat knives, you know, etc. Right? So this is my answer to some of these different genres in the knife using community. Because I use my knives. None of these are safe queens. I use them all. Okay? All right, guys. This is Doug Wilson from Yellow Hawk Customs Outdoors. Thanks for watching, and thank you for supporting Yellowhawk Customs, a veteran-owned company.